Nwanyi Kose Browa, Ekene Maria, Egypt na Gracia, Osebluwa Nenyeli, Idingo Zingos Puma forgive Jesu. Maria Dasa, Nenke Tubu, Yabaino Ninjayo, Kita Mama Amen. Okwe Melaro, Ekene Maria, Egypt na Gracia, Osebluwa Nenyeli, Idingos Nechti Boronine, Oja Zingos Puma forgive Jesu. Maria Dasa, Nenke Tubu, Yabaino Ninjayo, Kita Mama Amen. Yabalanya yo only nke Chukwu dị asọ ayiyo anyị na-arịọ gị o Chukwu ka erinye Gracia n'ime obi anyị ka anyị bụ ndị ndị butere ozi ọma wee mara iwere arụ Kristi nwanyị site n'afọ ya na obi ya wee bata n'otito na mbilite n'ọnwụ ya site na Kristi dịbe anyị. Amen. Otito dịrị Nna na Nwa na Mmụọ Nsọ. Otito dịrị Nna na Nwa na Mmụọ Nsọ. Otito dịrị Nna na Nwa na Mmụọ Nsọ. Ka mkpụrụ obi ndị niile kwere n'ogara aga. Mkpụrụ obi fa zuru ike na ndokwa.
Onye nwe anyị nọnyere ụlọ ka Chineke dị ike niile gọzie ụlọ Nna na Nwa na Mmụọ Nsọ.
Ekpere a bịara gị site na nkwado ndị Love Bite Foods and Beverages Limited Nnozi, ndị na-alụpụta Love Bite Bread nọ na nọmba 1 Nwotu Mmadụka Close, Mmuru Nnozi, 081 49 82 8254.
Listen to news updates on Ebonari 103.5 FM immediately after English 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebonari FM breaks the news with actualities.
And the link that if we are hoping for a new Nigeria,
you can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM.
Good evening and welcome to Abona, the 103.5 FM news update. Today, Tuesday, the 14th day of March 2023, and the time is the hour of 6. Martin Ifan Chukwuekeze is my name. The headlines. CBN okays 1,000 naira, 500 naira old notes after Buhari's rebuke. Fresh trouble for Tinubu as Obi reveals alleged winner of 2023 presidential election after INEC's declaration. 34th Enugu Trade Fair kicks off March 24th. Senate presidency. Ohaneze, Ebonyi APC through support for Umahi. Mbaka speaks on Governor Abia should vote. Xi Jinping to speak with Zelensky after meeting Putin in Moscow. Now, details. CBN okays 1,000 naira, 500 naira old notes after Buhari's rebuke. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, yesterday directed banks to comply with the Supreme Court judgment of March 3rd on the validity of old naira notes. The instruction came hours after President Muhammadu Buhari rebuked CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Abubakar Malami San, for not obeying the order. The Supreme Court held that the old 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes will remain legal tender until December 31st and coexist with new notes. The CBN has no reason not to comply with court orders on the excuses of waiting for directives from the president, a statement by the presidency said. Soon after, the CBN issued a statement asking banks to comply with the judgment. The statement, entitled Old 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes remain legal tender, was signed by Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Issa Abdul Mumin. He reads, in compliance with the established tradition of obedience to court orders and sustenance of the rule of law principle that characterized the government of President Muhammadu Buhari and by extension, the operations of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) as a regulator. Deposit money in Nigeria have been directed to comply with the Supreme Court ruling of March 3rd, 2023. Accordingly, the CBN met with Banks Committee and had directed the old 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira banknotes remain legal tender alongside the redesigned banknotes to December 31st, 2023. Consequently, all concerned are directed to conform accordingly. Nigerians have been expecting President Buhari, Malami, and Emefiele to issue clear directives to banks to comply with the order. Their silence resulted in confusion and more hardship, and with traders and businesses rejecting the old notes, while some banks that issued them refused to accept them as deposits. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) said it would direct workers to stay home if the federal government fails to address the Naira crisis within the next 7 days. They said workers could no longer afford to go to work due to a lack of cash. The Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) had also urged President Buhari to immediately direct the more states, including Lagos and Anambra, warned against rejecting the old notes, saying there would be consequences for doing so. Fresh trouble for Tinubu as Obi reveals alleged winner of 2023 presidential election after INEC's declaration. Peter Obi of the Labour Party is convinced that the APC flag bearer Bola Tinubu is not the winner of the 2023 election. According to the former governor of Anambra State, Bola Tinubu did not win the election because he did not win the people. Obi, who has vowed to challenge the election victory of Tinubu, insisted the people's mandate prevailed in the poll over INEC's declaration. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, made a fresh revelation about the All Progressive Congress APC's flag bearer, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory in the February 25th election. Obi on Monday said that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) was wrong in declaring Tinubu the winner because he did not win the February 25th, 2023 presidential election. Obi, who spoke on a television program, said Tinubu did not win the election, explaining that the election is about winning the people and not just being declared president-elect. Peter Obi claims he secured over 50% votes in Rivers State during presidential poll. Peter Obi has said that he garnered over 50% of the votes from Rivers State but was cheated out during the Saturday, February 25th poll. Obi, while responding to questions, said Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State worked against his presidential ambition. 34th Enugu Trade Fair kicks off March 24th. The leadership of the Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, ESIMA, has said no fewer than 8 countries across the globe have indicated interest to participate in the 34th edition of the Enugu International Trade Fair, which kicks off on March 24th. He said the fair would run up till April 3rd at the International Trade Fair Complex, Golf Course, Enugu. ESIMA President Jasper Nduagwike, who discussed this while briefing reporters on the forthcoming fair, said the organizers had begun moves to actualize a larger participation. He listed the countries expected at the fair to include China, Pakistan, Namibia, Zambia, Brazil, among others. Nduagwike said there would be a unique draw that would empower the winner with 1 million naira worth of training, adding that there would be additional working capital. He hoped that the event would be well attended since the country had a peaceful general election. The ESIMA president, who spoke through the vice president in charge of Trade Fair, Nonye Osakwe, an engineer, reasserted their concern on deepening democracy in Nigeria. He said there was no doubt that it was only with a thriving economy and free enterprise that our democracy will be rooted and sustained. Noting that the theme of the 2023 edition of the fair is harnessing Nigeria human capital resources for global economic advancement, the ESIMA president said the Minister of Trade and Investment will declare the fair open on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari. We are hopeful that the 34th Enugu International Trade Fair will be a success, despite attendant challenges in the economic environment, he said. Senate Presidency, Ohaneze, Ebonyi APC throws support for Umaye. The Pan-Igbo Social or Cultural Organization Ohaneze Ndigbo and the Ebonyi State chapter of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC have thrown their weight behind the Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umaye to emerge president of the 10th Senate. Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide Okechukwu Isi Guzoro, in a statement on Monday, said Umaye has a proven democratic temperament without a penchant for sectional politics. The statement further stressed that beyond settling for the Southeast for the position of the Senate President is the need to pick a leader acceptable to all zones of the country and a man without ethnic or religious bias. Umahi fits in this. When some politicians here were pursuing selfish interests, Umahi, who is currently the Senate elect for Ebonyi South, his people into the mainstream of Nigerian politics, just like he saw tomorrow. He has made friends across the divide and has demonstrated tolerance for all sections and strata. He is most fitted for the cap. For the interest of unity, gains of Umahi's proven commitment to one Nigeria, infrastructure and human development, Igbo interests, and need to galvanize support for our long-sought chance to have one of us strive to the presidency in the near future. We seek the support of all to enthrone Umahi as the next Senate President, the statement noted. In a related development, the State Working Committee of the APC in Ebonyi State has described Umahi as a perfect fit for the office of the Senate President for the 10th National Assembly billed for inauguration in June. Mbaka speaks on Governor Abia should vote. The spiritual director of the Adoration Ministry, Enugu, Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka, has charged Abians to vote for a governorship candidate that will work for the interests of the state. The famous priest advised Abia voters to look very well before making any choice of any governor. He stressed he was very sure that if Abia voters look well, they will know the person that is deserving of the seat as governor of the state. Mbaka said that he is not after the name of any leader, but is only interested in anyone who will use the opportunity to serve to bring joy to the people. He stressed the primary duty of leaders was to bring joy to the people that asked them to lead them at all times. The renowned priest gave his blessings to Ahiwe at the Adoration Ground, Emene, Enugu State, where the Abia PDP governorship candidate worshiped with other adorers. Speaking during the release of blessings, Mbaka said that it is his duty as a spiritual father to bless anyone that so desires. He added that it shall be well with Ahiwe as long as his ambition is to better the welfare of the poor masses of Abia State. Now we move over to the foreign scene. Xi Jinping to speak with Zelensky after meeting Putin in Moscow. China President Xi Jinping will speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after traveling to Moscow to meet with Russia President Vladimir Putin next week. The leaders have yet to set a specific date for the call with Zelensky, but it will most likely take place after the trip to Moscow, according to the Wall Street Journal. The call will be the first time Zelensky and Xi Jinping have spoken since Putin invaded Ukraine in February 2022. The potential call represents a first step for China after proposing a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine in February. Zelensky has been cautioned of the Chinese involvement, however, as Beijing is widely considered to favor Russia in the conflict despite claiming neutrality. I believe that the fact that China started talking about Ukraine is not bad, Zelensky said after China proposed this agreement. But the question is what follows the words. The question is in the steps and where they will lead to. China successfully brokered a deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran last week. Some U.S. observers, the agreement saw Iran and Saudi Arabia end years of hostility and re-engage in diplomatic relations on Friday. The groups held previously undisclosed meetings in Beijing. Saudi Arabia and Iran also agreed to activate a security cooperation agreement signed in 2001 in addition to earlier agreements on trade, economy, and investment. The talks in Beijing concluded an ongoing series of discussions that took place in Iraq and Oman in 2021 and 2022. China is far less likely to secure such an agreement for Ukraine and Russia. However, the talks can grant Beijing more credibility as a world power. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has expressed skepticism of China's involvement in negotiations with Russia. Meanwhile, the US has warned that China may be drafting plans to provide lethal aid to Russia. China has denied the claims. This is where we draw the curtain on news updates on Ebonade 103.5 FM. But before we leave, a quick look at the headlines. CBN okays 1,000 naira, 500 naira old notes after Buhari's rebuke. Fresh trouble for Tinubu as Obi reveals alleged winner of 2023 presidential election after INEC's defeat. 34th Enugu Trade Fair kicks off March 24th. Senate presidency. Ohaneze, Ebonyi APC through support for Umahi. Mbaka speaks on Governor Abia should vote. Xi Jinping to speak with Zelensky after meeting Putin in Moscow. You just listened to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. News produced and read by Martin Ifeanychukwu Ekezie. Thank you for listening. Once again, good evening.
Listen to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles, 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports, Ebona news with actualities.
And believe that people are hoping for a new Nigeria.
You can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM. Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebona 5 FM with Martin Ifeanychukwu Ekezie every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Parties on political process, views of labor leaders, and most